Hi, everybody, and welcome to the GLP-1 Diaries. My name is Karen, and I am a 61-year-old who is currently on a GLP-1 medication to help me lose weight. I have been overweight for almost ever, and I've decided that this is the way I want to go to try to get my weight under control. So this is an update. I apologize I missed last week and I'm late this week. I've been meaning to post every Monday, but I'll explain. We had a bunch of things going on. We had family and visiting, and it's been crazy busy. So anyway, I was 8 weeks, so 2 months on the lowest dose of Wegovy. And now I've done 2 weeks. I'm almost done the second week on the next dose of Wegovy. I've gone up 1 strength. So I'm at the 0.5 strength right now. And my weight loss has been good. The side effects have been okay. I will discuss that in just a bit because there has been an issue, but I don't think it was related to the medication. But I'll explain that. So I've been 10 weeks now on the medication, and I've lost a total of 27.8 pounds. And I am ecstatic with that. I'm very happy with that level of weight loss. And the food noise is completely dulled. My appetite is reduced quite a lot. I feel full quite quickly, and things are going very well. I have not been super restrictive on what I eat because, as far as I feel, this has to be something that has to be sustainable for the rest of my life. And I know that I cannot continue on this journey and say to myself, I can never have pizza again. I can never go to a Chinese buffet again. I can never eat this again. It's not realistic, at least for me. I do try to make good decisions on what I eat and how much I eat, but I really don't have anything that is completely off limits. And we'll see how that continues to go along this journey. So in the past 2 weeks, a lot has been going on. 2 weeks ago, Friday, I think it was like the 14th of August, when I got up in the morning, I pulled something in my back. And I was in a lot of pain. So I was taking ibuprofen and extra strength Tylenol, and I had a lot of nausea and a fair bit of throwing up. Nothing, it didn't produce anything. It only produced tears and snot, basically, if that's too much information. It was just dry heaves, and that lasted for several days. I am attributing that almost entirely to the ibuprofen. Ibuprofen and my tummy are not friends. And I find that if I do take ibuprofen, especially on an empty stomach or close to empty stomach, it does not sit well. And I think the combination maybe of the Wegovy and ibuprofen, I would get up in the middle of the night, go to the washroom or the bathroom, and I would be in so much pain that I would be nauseous. And I'd grab the garbage can and I'd be sick, but nothing materialized. And this went on for several days, off and on, mostly at night, during the middle of the night, or in the morning. And that was basically when the pain meds had started to fade, when the pain was the worst. Monday, I went to the doctor, and she said it was just a pulled muscle. It wasn't like I hadn't slipped a disc or anything like that. It was just a pulled muscle. She also gave me a prescription for a muscle relaxant, which I don't think helped the nausea. But I'm all on the mend now. I'm feeling way better than I did. I'm not taking any pain medication of any sort now, and my tummy is perfectly happy. The nausea happened both on the 0.25 and the 0.5 strength of the Wegovy. So it wasn't, the nausea and vomiting was not tied in with when I increased the dosage to 0.5 or doubled the dosage. That it happened before I changed and after I changed. So that's why I don't think I'm really blaming the Wegovy for this. But so anyway, so we had a lot of traveling during this time as well. And my hubby's brother, wife, and two of their daughters came out to our neck of the woods to visit. And so we were doing all kinds of touristy things. We were out eating a lot more than usual. And I tried to pick small, easy things. One morning we went out for breakfast, and while everyone was ordering large dishes, I got a bagel with cream cheese. And I was perfectly happy with that. Maybe I could have had one scrambled egg with some sausage, whatever. I felt like a bagel and cream cheese, and that's what I had. One of the days we went out for a Chinese buffet after church on Sunday, and I kept it very reasonable. I had one plate of food. Normally I would have at least two, plus dessert. Well, I did have dessert. I had a little bowl of ice cream. But I had way smaller portions than I usually would have had. I had mostly the shrimp, which was just plain steamed shrimp, the crab or fake crab, imitation crab. I did have some of the coconut shrimp, which is breaded and in a sweet sauce of sorts. I did have some rangoons. I'm not giving those up completely, but I only had two, whereas normally I would have at least four. And I also had some of the deep fried breaded butterfly shrimp. And I had some green beans. And that's all I had. Normally I would have fried rice, I would have noodles, I would have a little bit of all kinds of things. I would have the sesame chicken with the breading and the sauce. And I just stuck to mostly the proteins and a few of the carbs thrown in there, but a lot less than I normally would have. I did have a bowl of ice cream for dessert, and I kept it to one scoop instead of filling the bowl as full as I possibly could, which is what I would normally have done. So I consider that a win. I had far less food than I normally would have eaten going out for Chinese food. Another day we went out to another buffet, and same thing, I had one plate, and it was not loaded, heaping full. I kept it nice and reasonable. So I had two meatballs. I had some stuffing and mashed potatoes because I just love that stuff. And I had some breaded shrimp. And what else did I have? That might be about all I had. I'm trying to remember if I had anything else on that plate. But I kept it completely under control. Same thing with that place. I would have gone for 2 or 3 servings, and the plates would have been very full. So I had far, far less food than I normally would eat. And dessert, I had a small piece of blueberry pie and a little bit of apple crumble. And I ate part of the apple crumble, and I gave the other half, I ate maybe half of the little bowl, and I gave the rest of it to the hubby because he loves apple crumble also. And I left feeling satisfied. I wasn't overly full, and I certainly was not hungry. So this is one of the things that for me is important with this whole change in my diet and all of that, is that it has to be something I can stick to. It has to be something that I can do on a regular basis. And I know if I were to say I could never go to a Chinese buffet again as long as I live, that's not reasonable. It's not going to happen. I will We have friends that like to go there. Maybe we go to this one particular Chinese buffet maybe once every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe once a month, maybe once every month and a half. We don't go often, but we do go. And I know it's not reasonable to say that we'll never go there again. So another meal we had, and again, these are things that I know it's not reasonable to say I'm never going to do this again. We went and got Little Caesars pizza. We always get the thin crust. Hubby and I love their thin crust pizza. We get pepperoni, mushroom, and Italian sausage on it. We also got an order of the cheese bread. It's like a little square thick crust thing with garlic butter and cheese on it. And we got that on Friday evening. We had some of it for supper between the two of us. We had supper on Saturday or Friday. We had some for lunch and supper on Saturday. And we had the last of it for breakfast lunch or supper on Sunday. So between two of us, we got 4 meals out of this. So usually we would have eaten almost all of it in one sitting. We might have had a little bit left over to have like 1 or 2 little squares of their pizza for breakfast the next day. And that would be it. We would have eaten everything. Hubby is appreciating all of this too, because now he is eating less as well. And he's lost a couple pounds. He doesn't have much to lose, but he does want to lose a few pounds. So it's working out well for both of us. What else did I want to tell you about? And again, the side effects, the nausea and vomiting has gone since I've quit taking pain medication, or since I've taken the last of the ibuprofen. That's completely cleared up. I'm not feeling nauseous at all. I do feel some of the effects of the slowed down digestion and the slower movement of food through my digestive system, but I am taking 2 little stool softeners every morning with my medicine, my regular like non-weight loss medicine, my high blood pressure medicine. Oh, one non-scale victory. There's a little bit of space between my belly and the steering wheel in my car. And that was one of the things that I'm looking forward to, having more space between the steering wheel and my belly. And now there actually is. It wasn't a super tight fit before, but the steering wheel did touch my belly. And it definitely touched my belly. And it does not anymore. I can easily put my fingers down between the steering wheel and my belly now. So I'm very happy with that. And the other day when hubby was heading off for work, I think it was last week sometime, I went to give him a kiss goodbye and got a big bear hug. And he said, I'm really starting to feel a little bit of difference. It's a little, you're smaller. So another non-scale victory, that the hug, it's easier for him to hug me now. So that was fantastic. So this is little wins. But like I say, I'm down just shy of 28 pounds. I'm getting closer to having lost 10% of my body weight. I'm hoping that by the time I go see my endocrinologist, I think I have an appointment with her September 22nd, thereabouts. I think it's the 22nd of September. I go in a few days ahead of that and I'll get blood work done so she can look at all my numbers again. But I'm hoping that I've hit the 10% weight loss by the time I go and see her on the 22nd of September. And I really do think I will have reached that milestone by that point. So that's one of the first huge goals that I'm looking forward to, is hitting that 10% goal. I only have about 6. I only have about 6 or 7 pounds, and I've hit that goal. So that's cool. So I should be able to hit that before I go see the endocrinologist towards the end of September. So day by day, we're going to keep going with this. I'm happy with how it's working. I have no major complaints, and I'm excited to see how the journey continues. So if you found this interesting, informative, enjoyable, any of that, I would love it if you subscribe to my teeny tiny channel and like the video, comment. I'd love to build up a community here. Yeah, all that fun YouTube stuff. So on that note, I'm going to let you go, and hopefully I'll be back with you again next week, whether I make it on my regular time back to Mondays every week. We shall see. But otherwise, take care, everybody, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.